obviously debate rages about what role, if any, the United States should continue to play in the Middle East. Joining me now, Major General John Cronin, author of the new book, An Inconvenient War. General, we thank you so much for Skyping in from out in Hawaii, where it's very, very early. You've written this piece of fiction, but in terms of fact, you've said that any calls for U.S. boots on the ground in Iraq is idiocy. Do you stand by that position, and why?
Well, I stand by the position. Boots on the ground can't be American troops. We've got the lessons of Iraq, where we spent $1 trillion and lost 5,000 and 50,000 wounded, and we created a bigger mess than we started with. Boots on the ground, Kurds can be there, the Turks can be there, which they don't seem to be willing to do. The Iraqis can be there, which has been kind of spotty. If you want boots on the ground, those are the boots you want. Americans can't afford another bloodletting like we had over in Iraq the first time. And we just, as a nation, can't afford the expense and just everything that goes along with sending troops when we don't have a full plan. We can do things militarily, but what do we do if we win? We have no plan, no overall structure in this country that will nation build, will provide the infrastructure for these countries. So when you say boots on the ground, if there are other boots, great. If there are boots, no way.
Fair enough. Let's say that no action is taken. The Middle Easterners don't step up, and we decide, you know, this is not our fight. We've been there long enough. Are you concerned at all about the notion of the rise of a modern caliphate with expansionist tendencies and a huge base from which to continue to wage terror against the United States and other Western nations?
Not at all. These terrorist groups, my feeling, is they're effective when they have no structure. When they have to govern and put something in place which accommodates people and services, they just don't have the ability to do it. They're much easier to defeat in a state-type system. As amorphous blobs like they are now, they're a bit difficult to defeat, and they draw a certain mental giant to join them, I guess. But when they have to govern, they just can't put it together. And so I'm not worried about it, no. My thought is, you got Turkey and you've got Iran. Both of them are affected by this caliphate. They're on Turkey's border, and the Turks are bombing the Kurds who are fighting ISIS. So I don't know how to explain it. It's crazy.
Fair enough. That's perhaps many would say that is an accurate description, General. Let's move now, with a minute and a half remains, to your book, An Inconvenient War, a work of fiction but grounded in reality. What practical real-life applications do you hope readers will take from your book, An Inconvenient War?
Well, I think what they should take from the book is what those of us that are in Vietnam took out of it. We realize you don't enter war half-heartedly. You have to commit the entire nation. You have to put assets there, and you have to get in, and you've got to have a strategy to get out. We learned that in Vietnam. The Powell Doctrine states that. Powell Doctrine proved itself in the Gulf War I, and then went poof. We just blew it all up. We entered Afghanistan, had every reason to go to Afghanistan, and we didn't do it right. We wanted to fight another war, and we kind of let Afghanistan hang around and didn't give it assets, really had no strategy for it.
Fair enough. We will have to leave it there. Major General John Cronin, the author of the new book, An Inconvenient War. Sir, we thank you for your time so very early in the morning in Hawaii, Skyping in and joining us. The general is a Vietnam veteran. You heard what he had to say about involvement in the Middle East. Do you agree with what he had to say? Why don't you tweet me your comments at Newsmax TV, hashtag America's Forum. There's also newsmaxtv.com/comment. And don't forget Facebook. We're coming back.